So it's windy too. When it's windy, no, because there's too much stuff on the water. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Alright, well, that was the second wreck of the day. I don't know if you saw the first one. I flipped it over at probably about 50 and it skidded on the roof for, I don't know how far, probably 200 or 300 feet. But that's going to be the second drive I ever make of this thing because this is too fast for me. I don't even have any idea how fast I was going out there, but you can't even floor it until you're probably going a good 50, 60 miles an hour, or it'll just loop out. It's impressive, but that's crazy. You saw just what it took to, I was on the brakes and I thought the speed controller might have been set for just braking and then reverse, because usually cars, oh, I can feel the heat coming out from under this body right now, and I wasn't even driving that hard, and it's actually only about, I'd say it's about 75 degrees outside. Maybe on the asphalt it's pretty warm, but had a lady driving by and I got distracted trying to get out of her way, and I don't know if you saw it, but I almost hit a yellow post over there, and all this dirt debris is literally just from the spinning out just before the cameras. I got 2 cameras set up, and so the motor is still fairly cool. I'm going to leave the fans on for a while, but yeah, we got dirt. I'm going to have to stick some little tiny pieces of foam rubber in the vent holes for the tires, because I don't want the tires to get filled up with silt, but they still need to breathe. But yeah, I left black marks more in a couple places once it started to hook up, and then I decided I'd do a couple reverse donuts, and that seemed to warm up the tires for at least a good 5 minutes. But to stay at the pace that's going to keep those tires warm without being experienced at this is no good. It's kind of nerve-wracking to even drive this thing, because I've driven a lot of, I like to think, fast RC cars, but this is the fastest RC car I think I've ever driven, and I've driven gas and electric. And let me get this thing unplugged. I'm gonna sit my cameras at a couple of different angles. So let me see where I can put this, if I can still show you what's going on. So I don't think I got any extra scrapes on the bottom, but the tires definitely don't have any ribs on them anymore like they did. And yeah, I got to be careful. If I spin it around and start going sideways, I got to try and recover out of the skid before it catches air under the side, because it literally flipped over like a NASCAR would. I forgot to bring my battery tester, and see, I got this duct under here, this NASA duct that actually feeds in and goes to the motor. So if I had the 100-mile-an-hour pinion and the car was unlocked, which I don't know if the car's unlocked without using telemetry. Oh, I gotta, ooh. Yeah, he rebuilt the whole front end, but I can see that I'm gonna have to put some new CV boots at the CV joints in the rear, because I don't know if you can see, but there's a split on these, and that wasn't there before. So this appears to have a lock differential in the middle, but it spins the rear tire. I don't know if it necessarily spins the rear tires more, or it just loses traction at the rear more abundantly, because it definitely does have a neutral steering characteristics to it. So if I turn in under braking, moderate braking to light braking to moderate braking, yeah, these boots are probably original boots. This car is actually 7 years old, and this guy I got it from appears to be one of the first of these cars, the AX01. Yeah, the motor's cooled off already, so we're good on that. The body says number 5 on it, but that's either the original body or just his number that he used. It's just one little small place for a number. But from what he said, he got this when these first came out. I don't know if he got one before they were released to the public or not, but it appears for a 7-year-old RC car that's capable of well over 100 miles an hour in the right hands, which is not me. I don't think I'll ever, I guarantee I'm never going to hit 100 miles an hour unless something doing 120 hits it from the rear, knocks it off into oblivion, because I don't have any idea how fast I was going out there. I was going to bring a GPS and a little radar gun, but I just, you know, I really don't want to get involved with this car, considering it's literally not my cup of tea. I like rock crawlers. I do like going fast, and that's the problem, is fast is great and all, but with it has some consequences, and yeah, this thing would cost a lot of money, just the body alone, which I think you could see on the video. I've basically nuked the roof here. Actually, I think it'll clean off because this is a Surrey coat and there's no dents in it. He's reinforced this body with drywall mesh and some type of polyflex glue, but I've lowered the profile of the wing back here because I think it literally slid a couple 100 feet. I'm not even exaggerating, and I don't think I was doing more than 50 or 60 miles an hour, and so this stuff might clean off with some Meguiar's cleaner wax, because it looks like it's the Surrey coat that transferred from the ground. And then when I backed into the curb, it didn't really hurt it. I mean, it creased the body a little bit, but this is a $75 body just for pre-painted stock TRAXXAS body. And I have a brand new body that I don't know who makes it, if it's Proline or TRAXXAS. I don't know how many companies are going to make a specialized body for a single car that has no other alternative options to use it on, except maybe a TRX 4. But I'm happy with the car, and the deal I got was, I think, pretty awesome, considering I think when these cars first came out they were well over $1,000, and that's even without, he's put new, this has got 2 3-cell batteries that are some outrageous amp output. They're upside down so I can't see the, but I guess he did the entire drivetrain. It's got a Savox steering servo, a Savox upper brace, Castle Creations. I don't know what motor that is, but that can there is big, and it's got a temperature sensor on it. So if I put my, there's another little battery in there that I haven't used yet that I hope isn't discharged. I don't know what that's for. That must be for the speed controller to run off of if they're not running through the actual speed controller for power. Maybe they're individually running that fan. I gotta check that, because if that battery's just sitting in there not doing anything, and it gets to a discharge point, or I get in an accident, and which I'm not saying I'm not going to, I'm just saying I'm not giving myself very many opportunities to get in an accident. Is that plugged into anything? Well, it looks like it's plugged into something, so I don't know what it's for, but it's a 10 amp peak, 25 volt max in, 4.0 volt I don't know what that is. If it's some type of capacitor, it's CCBEC. Oh, it's a battery eliminator circuit. So that is for the speed controller. So I don't have to run a separate power source to control the electronics. I was going to say avionics, because it's like driving an airplane and not ever pulling the stick back. But yeah, so you've got this battery here just runs the cooling fans, which this battery's big enough to run like a small foamy airplane. We've got two 90C constant amp 3-cell batteries that are at 11.1 each, and they're actually bridged together in, are they parallel or series? I think they might be series. I'm not sure. I don't know if this thing is running, I don't know how many volts has to go through that, but the entire drivetrain is actually still got a factory warranty for like 3 years, because he redid all of it. Even the sticker, the protective sticker on top of the labels, are still on the speed controller. And he's got all metal gears, which are noisy, but definitely well worth it. And like I said, other than changing some rear CV boots, which I don't think I'll do. There's no point in me learning how to rebuild and service this too much, considering I just, there's no point in me keeping it. I don't race. I'm not going to race anything with this, and I just don't want to do that walk of shame if I crash it. I mean, there's a video on YouTube that shows one of these crashing at about 111 miles an hour, and on the intro it says in nice lettering down in the center screen, how to disassemble an AXO in less than a second. And yeah, he got airborne going past him. He's lucky he didn't hit himself with the car, because it looked like it skimmed right over the tops of his Nikes. And there was a guardrail that was about 3 feet up from the ground, and a curb that looked like it was like one of those 9-inch curbs, or even like a 24-inch curb. So we're talking about 4 or 5 feet. It got off the ground when it went sideways, and it hit the top of the guardrail just ever so slightly, and then swung over the top and hit every one of the abutment posts that holds the guardrail up. Probably 7 different posts that were at least 20, I'd say 15 to 20 feet away from each other. So it tumbled and cartwheeled between each one, and the biggest part, I think, that was left over, other than one of the batteries flew across the screen, a splitter on the front, which was metal, went across the screen, and then one of these rear or front A-arms with the driveline, wheel, and part of the strut tower landed right in camera view, and the dude didn't even move for a while. I'm pretty sure he was still holding his breath after the video was edited, because I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just thrown the remote into the weeds and walked away, because it's pretty impressive. But anyways, I don't know if if it's discharged down enough that I'll just waste my time going and running again, but I'm just happy I didn't actually crash. I flipped it over, and I put probably just as many miles on the roof and the spoiler as man, this thing is finicky. I probably put just as many miles on the spoiler as I'm gonna put on the car the whole time I'm gonna own it, because that was my second actual run of this car, and I told myself I would run it 3 times, and if I was really smart, I would stop while I'm ahead, which I might, because I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I still got a brand new set of tires on rims already mounted. The same thing that's on here already, I believe. Yeah. And I've, you know, got a whole new body that's never been run that I know of. It didn't have any marks on it. And I just wanted to make sure everything's on the up and up. And I'm gonna break out my rock crawler now because I still got a little bit of time. So this one came to sit on the block. The block's too big. So this one is the other one I bought in the deal, which is really the only one I wanted, but I figured if I was going to spend the money I spent on an RC car again, I'd see what I could stretch my dollar into. So I did pretty good. If I sell the big car, let's see, we're at 25. I'll run this around a little bit. I don't think it's worth videoing because I'm just out here on asphalt, so my steering is really far off. I wonder if it's because I turned it on with the trim all the way over. Let's see, center the trim. That on. And then that looks like that did it. It's definitely not a street car, but I think I can get away with videoing and driving at the same time. Oosh. Yeah, this thing's got way too much motor for an off-road truck, so, but that's in high gear. So in low gear it has no problem. It's noisy as hell. I think this has all metal gears too. And it's got drop gearboxes on the axles, which I really didn't know that they were doing this except for aftermarket. So you've got a gearbox at every corner to lower the location of the actual output. So there's the input drive shaft, and then of course your output is at the back of the wheel. So you got those gears, and then you can see inside when I flick this switch here. Let's see if we can get it. You can see those movements. There we go. One of these is to lock the rear diff, and the other one is to lock the front diff. And then on the other side, we've got, well, that's the speed controller. I'm going to end up giving people motion sickness. See, this one here is for high and low gear. So it's got high and low gears in the transfer case. So this is high gear. And something's rubbing in there. I don't think that's just metal gears. That sounds like a stone or a little rock, a chip of a rock. But anyways, whoa, you can see it's got all kinds of goose in high, and if I put it in low, it's gonna still pull a wheelie, but it'll catch up with itself. So it's not that big a deal. So, and then with the diffs unlocked, I can make good tight turns, but unlocked, it'll probably lift the wheel up. I mean lock. So anyways, I don't like how noisy it is. I got a feeling it's supposed to be a little noisy, but not that noisy. So anyways, I'm at about 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop the video.